Are you ready for some Mojo? Let's rock this
Welcome to the Mojo for Musicians Mojo Spotlight, where we showcase some of the hottest talent across the globe and what it took to get them to where they are today. Only here on the Mojo for Musicians podcast. I'm your host, Manny Cabo. Now let's do this.
All right, guys, my dear Mojo Maniacs, have I got an amazing treat for you today. Now, this special lady, special talent, special friend, who I can honestly call my bestie, which I first met in Nashville, and we're both fellow Voice contestants. She was on season 6 of The Voice, and she's another rocker like yours truly. Let's welcome to the show my bestie, Megan Rüger. What's up, Megan?
What's up? Good morning from Las Vegas.
From Sin City. How are you? It's been a while. This has been a long time coming too, as you and I both know. So I'm really excited to have you on the show.
I know. I haven't seen you in forever. It's crazy. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you kidding? I'm sure you got stuff going on because I'm following your posts. I'm following your social media. As we artists, we always check out and we see what our fellow artists are doing in the world of music. And it has been crazy over the past year. And I'm going to get to some questions regarding that. But right now, just so I could formally introduce you to my audience, you're originally from Wisconsin, right?
I am. I moved to Nashville when I was 20, and then I moved to Las Vegas 3 years ago.
That's great. And I'm glad you said that because it's a great segue to my first question. So I first met you in Nashville, right? So first of all, what was the impetus to move from Wisconsin, which is a pretty eclectic musical space? That's a pretty happening place for music, right? Tons of shows out there. And I know that because I have other artists that are from that area. So what possessed you to move to Nashville, Music City, for obvious reasons? I know why, but I want you to tell your story. And then you made the transition from Music City to Sin City. Talk to me about that.
So I originally moved to Nashville because I was singing at a country music festival in Wisconsin called Country Thunder USA. I started singing the national anthem, one of the number one hardest songs to sing since I was 16 years old.
People don't realize how hard that is.
It really is. If you start that song too high, you're in trouble. You're in trouble with Rockets Red Glare. So I started singing the national anthem before like the second to main acts every night for a few years. And I finally, hung out backstage and met up with Big and Rich and Heartland, a bunch of country bands that were very welcoming and very advice.
I love Big and Rich. You remember that party we went to? They were insane. Such cool people. Go ahead.
Yeah. So John's known me since I was 16 years old. And I just hung out with the band and they were like, if you really want to make it in the music business and really take your career to the next level, you should think about Nashville. And I was like, all right. And so I did it. I was 20 years old and just packed up and left. And I did the whole Broadway thing for a good 10 years. And then when I was on The Voice in 2014, I had this West Coast bug in me, I guess, when I went out to LA and realized that I am a country girl because I'm from Wisconsin and I lived in Nashville for 10 years, but I have a really big rock heart. And my parents have always instilled me with like Bob Seger and Leonard Skinner and a lot of Southern rock and classic rock. And so I just realized that it was time to try something new. And the Rock Vault show, which is another thing to talk about, rating the Rock Vault show here in Las Vegas.
Wait a second. Let me rewind. Because there's so many things. Like I met you on the show going back. You had your spiky hair. That I labeled you spiky because of your hair, and I love that I missed that look. But I get it. There's a lot to maintain. It's a lot of money maintaining that hair. But now I can see your roots and how it developed into your style of music, and there's a surprise during the show, and I'm not going to share it with you yet. But going on, so moving to Nashville, how did it feel? Like, talk to me. That's the secret juice. Like, how did it feel? You were young at the time, and you're still young. But how did it feel picking up your stuff and just moving to unknown territory? Because I felt the same way, and I was 40 at the time. I'm like, I don't know anyone in Nashville. So as a female who's just starting her career, delving into an industry of veterans, because everyone, let's face it, and I know you're going to agree with me, everyone in Nashville can rock out. The babysitter can pick up a guitar and just jam and crush it. So how was that? Explain to me that emotional side.
It was a whirlwind. I wasn't even 21. So legally to get into the bars, I had to like finagle my way and kind of work magic and be like, I just want to sing. Can I please get into the bar so I can just sing? And so it was a lot of networking. I think the first couple of years when you move to a new city, it's about networking.
Absolutely.
getting to know
Absolutely.
people in the city. And so I did a lot of that. And then I finally scored my first gig on Broadway just by going out on Broadway and asking bands if I could get up and sing with them. Like
What was
there's,
your first gig? What was your first gig?
I think it was Whiskey Bent on Broadway.
Oh, okay. It's a good bar.
Yeah.
Or a good honky tonk, as we call it
But
down
it
there,
was
right?
like I probably could name so many bands that I owe a lot to for giving me the chance to just get up on stage on Broadway and sing.
Yeah.
But that's where I learned my chops, man. Nashville's a hard city. It's
Yeah.
not easy. Everyone, says that, it's different than when I moved there too. It's huge now. Everyone's moving there. But
It's humbling, right? It's a really humbling city. You get up there and like, damn, I better be flawless tonight. So there's that element of pressure that just hovers over you. I know I felt it, and I think you're going to agree with this as well. It's even more pressure when they know you've been on TV. So there's a level of expectation like, here we go, Megan, she better rock this out.
Yeah.
So explain to me that. How did you feel? Because see if we have similar backgrounds and similar experiences.
Well, before I was on the show, I had already been in Nashville for a good, 2009 to 2014. I'd already been working on my chops and singing, and you always hear that too once that show came about.
Yeah.
You try out for The Voice. You should do that. You should do that. So then once you do make it on the show, then, and especially my spiky hair at the time.
You stood out like a sore thumb, but I loved it, man. I'm like, she's one of us, she's one of us.
I just want to be known for my voice more than my hair these days.
Right.
And then when I started playing on Broadway, still after The Voice, and I got to open up for Foreigner and Foreigner and Joan Jett. One of my favorite rockers, Joan Jett. And
Yeah, I remember that. That's pretty amazing.
just the amount of doors that open once you are on a show like that, and the friendships that I've made, and the just the whole experience is crazy. But yeah, Nashville, now everyone that comes to Nashville is from all over the world, and they expect to hear the most craziest genres. But also, that was the thing that I did that was different though. They expect to hear country, but then when they came to my show, they would be like, oh wow, go from singing Faith Hill to Joan Jett to Guns N' Roses. And that's what
let me slam on the brakes, Rick, because it's exactly it, right? You're thinking Nashville, think it's in Tennessee. It's going to be bombarded with country artists, which it is. I'm not going to lie. You get the best of the best. But when I originally went to Nashville, I wanted to better my game at songwriting. And what I found was being down there, everyone recognized you from being on The Voice. First of all, I'm like 6'2" tattoos. Like, who wouldn't remember me, right? But I wanted to really up my songwriting game. Then I met you. And then it's incredible how humble people are. Like Rich Redmond from Jason Aldean and Ben Caesar from Brad Paisley. All these cats on any given night can walk into one of the honky tonks and just perform. And you're right. You would think it's just country music, but there is this eclecticism of genres all over the place. One night you can go to, I don't know, legends and obviously the best of the best, traditional countries like Waylon Jennings and George Jones. But then you can go up to like nudies and catch a cover band. And we performed many times on nudies. Those are some fun times. Oh my God, this is so like serendipitous just talking to you. I'm like, I remember that day because it's been a while and I miss that. But
you inspired me to write more too. I wrote a lot and I produced an album after the Voice in 2016, but I never realized how I should have been writing more. Yeah. But I got caught up in learning all the other things on Broadway in Nashville and just being in the city, finding band members and booking shows and stuff. There's a lot that goes into being.
Well, you're stuck in the business side. Granted, you want to up your skills, right? But I was there, I needed to make some money. I needed to pay for rent. I needed to get the gigs and exposure. So you got to network. You got to up your skills. There's a lot of elements, right? And this is really important to highlight because a lot of artists that have this dream, well, I'll just move to Las Vegas or I'll just move to Nashville and make it big. Dude, if you're doing it just to blow up and make it big and have a successful career, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You have to really embrace the grind and the journey, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Because I know when I was there, I was like, wow, I really got to get to work here, meeting as many people just like you did, and then luckily I have my other art of photography where I started helping artists doing their brands. And had it not been for that, I don't know, because it's tough walking into a situation where, you're a pretty decent vocalist, but so is everybody else. You know, the only thing that I think that helped you and myself, we stood out because we were more rock oriented. I think they wanted to see a little bit more of that because back in the day, and Grant, it shifted from now to what was it, 6 years ago that I was there. You know, like you said, people are infiltrating and moving in every day. It's like one of the fastest growing cities. So you can expect to see so many genres of music. But I want to move on to the hardships because I know you've had them. And I wanted to leave this stuff for you. And I mean, you're dealing with physical injuries and you're dealing with jealousies and insecurities. Talk to me so you could speak to the female artists in the audience. Like, talk to me about those hardships, what you did to overcome them, you know, and how you kept strong in a sea of idiosyncrasies that really don't vibe with, you know, great and kind people like you and me.
Well, Nashville, anywhere actually, I should say. It doesn't matter what city you're in. There are distractions, hardships, but also just distractions. And being a female, you know, we get distracted by a lot of things because we're constantly, first of all, in this business, it's more male dominated. So you have to already kind of have a female mindset, but also have a male mindset too. You have to balance the two. And then just being a working musician, it's not a very steady lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's all about balancing. And so there's been times where I don't know when my next paycheck is going to come in and that I'm living off of tips. And
anyone else?
Yeah.
Anyone else? I know that feeling.
And that was what it was in Nashville. And that's why I couldn't, there's what you said, that there's so much talent and it's super saturated in Nashville that if you will play for tips or $30, then someone else will. Yeah. And I did that lifestyle for so long. And then finally the Vegas life came along and I don't have to stress as much, and I to get to do more opportunities that are at a higher paying level, and I'm enjoying more. And the best advice I could give to women is just to find what you enjoy, and then try to figure out how to capitalize on it, and then just surround yourself by people that are like-minded. And that's where I love Nashville, and I still go back there. But I have surrounded myself by people in Vegas and the women out here are amazing too. It's very.
So no, wait. Let me shut you down because you're going right through it. I want to rewind a little. Let's slam on the brakes. Like, where did the desire to make that excursion to Sin City come on? Like, at what point? Because you had a pretty good career in Nashville. Like, what caused you to move to Las Vegas?
Well, after being on The Voice, I got that little West Coast bug in me, and and how. LA and Las Vegas are very extra, and I've always been extra.
Okay.
And,
I like that.
I just love.
Would you consider me extra? You consider me extra?
Yeah.
But where did it all start? Like, who introduced you to that vibe? Was it trips that you were making with the little tours that you were doing, or like, where did that come from? Just curious.
Well, when I went from Nashville to LA for The Voice, that was a big staying out.
I see. Okay.
But also my bass player that left Nashville with me, Victor Broden, who
Victor.
He was a big encourager too, because he just was ready for something new too, and realized that the lifestyle was a little bit more our speed in LA and Vegas. So he went to LA and I went to Vegas, and I like to go back and forth. I'm actually going to LA this weekend for, I'm going to be the counselor at the Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp.
I saw that. That's badass. Let's talk to me about that. I mean, you get to work literally with one of your idols, Melissa Etheridge. That's a big deal.
Yes, I'm very excited to work with Melissa Etheridge this weekend, and Nancy Wilson from Heart, Kathy Down from the Go-Go's, and Orianthi. And I'm just, ever since the COVID too, I've just been forced to, both of us have, you and I.
Yeah.
Been forced to rise from the ashes and just also become a chameleon and adapt to other.
Exactly.
I've been taking the weirdest gigs sometimes, tribute acts, and but the main thing is just I want to start focusing on my originals and really hone in on my songs.
I'm glad you said that, because it's true. You know, we've certainly had to make some pivotal movements, you know, over the past year, you know, with me and losing my dad to COVID and then Hurricane Ida, and I'm washing away all of my livelihood. You know, it's bad enough that we have to really try to come up with these new and ideas. Okay, how am I going to make money? But it's hard to make money when I don't have any equipment. So in a situation like yours, where you're making the transition from Nashville to Las Vegas, then you got to start all over, kind of, right? Meeting new people. But talk to me about the difference of living in Las Vegas as opposed to Nashville. Like, how were you received and how easy was it to make that transition? Just curious, because, you know, for somebody like me who's lived in Nashville, and I'm going to be visiting you out there pretty soon. And I told you, let's do some photography, which I promised you a photo shoot. Let's do some shows, right? And let's see what we can do, because we had this little thing for those of you listening. We had this little idea that I formed, and we even have a little logo. Remember that, Mr. Madam, which is still going to come to fruition. I know we definitely have to execute that. So talk to me about the differences.
Well, it's just I think a faster life pace out here, and it's just it's showbiz out here, real show, like not just I don't know. I learned so much, I should say, from out here, from the showgirls. They have totally taken my stage presence and my wardrobe and everything to another level, because it's Vegas.
That's awesome. Yeah, of course. You would think, right? It's like all glitz.
Oh, yeah. I never realized all the little tricks that they have with pantyhose and
and you're really into that as well, because you pick up a few things, but you're doing tons of residencies out there, and I'm sure that's got to feel great.
Yes, finally, the Raiding the Rock Vault show is finally coming back. That's the one that I began my first journey when I came here. I called the owner of the show and I said, "Hey, I know all the songs in the show," and it just worked out. Timing was perfect. But then the COVID hit, and it's been on a hiatus for 2 years. So we're finally coming back June 16th, and I will be back in the show with all the rockers from Slaughter, Lita Ford, Missing Persons.
Nice. Oh, Missing Persons. You know what's funny? Oh, I love them. Do you hear me? And you know what? People don't realize, when I tell them to look back at Missing Persons, she was the one who started the exotic and extravagant outfits even before Lady Gaga and Madonna. For those of you who don't know, you got to check out Missing Persons. She was amazing. She still is. And her look, I think she really raised the bar for that whole fashion trend in rock, right? And you're working with these people. That's so badass. I'm so proud of you. That's fantastic. Doesn't surprise me, though. Let me move this and shift this conversation to a more sensitive topic. And I know you've recently been involved with all-female bands, right? An all-female girl band. Explain to me the trials and tribulations of that, because I kept up with your journey and I didn't want to elaborate too much on it, because I want your perspective and how that was, because I saw you guys were rocking out. It was a great experience, but things happen. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, it was fun. It was good. I was, it was hard. AC/DC is not easy to sing. And then playing with male musicians usually, and then all of a sudden female, it's a whole nother ballgame. And that's what this weekend is too, is I have a whole group of girls that I have to coach for their camp this weekend. So it's just, finding the right vibe when it comes to band members. You have to just gel. It's all about the vibe on stage and off.
Well, yeah, and you know what? You do have some difficulty, because I know I've experienced it with you while we were in Nashville. You had a lot of male musicians that just couldn't take a front woman, because you were amazing. And I would tell you, ignore the criticisms. That has nothing to do with you. When they project these insecurities on you, it's because they have inner voids. That's not your problem. But I remember, having some heartfelt dialogue with you about that. And it was a difficult process for you to really comprehend, because, and you would tell me, but I'm nice. I don't understand. And I would tell you, it has nothing to do with being nice. It's that you own it up there. And some guys have a difficult time with that. And, you got to own that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, enough of that. Let's talk about if there was anything different that you could have done early on, what would that be? I'll give you a second to think about that. Like, here you are, Megan, it's 2022. Is there anything, when you first initially embarked on your career, was there something different that you would have done that you think could have catapulted you further in this career? Or would you have done everything the same?
No, definitely wouldn't do everything the same. I wish I would have met you sooner, because you definitely changed my mindset and just living in the moment. I think I should have lived in the moment a little bit more. I think a lot of people need to live in the moment more. We just stress so much about everything that when I was on the show, especially The Voice, I was so like anxiety driven and consumed that I didn't really just relax and sing. I
used to tell you that all the time. I know. And till this day, I tell people, enjoy the ride, right? Everyone was always worried about, oh my God, the 90 seconds. I'm like, what if I screw up? I'm like, who cares if you screw up? We all screw up. Just enjoy what you do and just enjoy meeting new people. Enjoy learning the new skills and techniques, because I love watching other incredible singers. Like, that doesn't intimidate me, because you know as well as I do there is no best singer. You're doing Megan, I'm doing Mandy. When we perform, sure, we mesh because we were kind of rocker, but we would compliment one another. But I appreciated you, embraced your talent as well. And that's tough to do. It's tough to see in this industry.
Yeah, it's a very tough industry. That's why I like to tell people to just, surround yourself by the right people and embrace everybody and support. You're only as good as the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah,
right?
Amen to that. So listen, how would you feel? It's kind of a little surprise, but I wanted to play a song. How would you feel about playing something live acoustically so we can hear your voice? It's been a minute since I've heard your voice. Would you mind?
Okay. A disclaimer, I'm not a guitar player, but I'm learning.
I don't care about that. Can I make a request? Because I used to love when you used to sing the song. And of course, it's pretty apropos considering. Could you do Rockstar for me?
That's sure.
Nice.
We can do that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, not only has Megan Rüger provided us with some nuggets of information from her journeys, but she has also graciously agreed to do a song for us. And it doesn't have to be much. Play a few bars here and there just so they can hear you. And then when we're done with that, I want you to showcase some stuff and certain things that you'd like to promote as well.
All righty. Hopefully this is in tune.
You have a pick? I always find myself asking guitar players that because they never have a pick. Meanwhile, I pull out my little bag. I'm always more prepared than they are. It's great.
I feel like this song tells more of the story than I could ever tell about the music business. But
all right.
Wow.
All right.
Used to be.
You want me to introduce you?
Sure. Ladies
and gentlemen, hailing from Sin City, Las Vegas, this is Megan Rüger with Rockstar.
What's left of last night's beer? The checkout's 11:30, and I'm late getting out of here. The boys look like zombies, the bus feels like jail. I drank too much tequila last night, and that's why I feel like hell. Been living like a rock star, been trashing hotels and closing bars, down to town breaking all their hearts. Rockstar, all my friends call me Hollywood. I'm always broke, but the band sounds good. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Everybody thinks I'm rich. I'm made any money. Well, I ain't seen none of it, but I'm famous somewhere. Yeah, at least in my hometown, Twin Lakes, Wisconsin, where I'm from. I might as well be Elvis. Oh, and the lights going down. Been living like a rock star. Been trashing hotels and closing bars, down to town breaking all their hearts. Rockstar, all my friends call me Hollywood. I'm always broke, but the band sounds good. Been living like a rock star.
The amazingly talented Megan Rüger singing Rockstar. So listen, before we go, I know you got to run, but anything else that you'd like to promote that I definitely want to share with the community here?
Yeah, just the Rock Vault show coming back to Vegas, and meganruger.com. And you can check out all my music on Amazon and iTunes and all that jazz. But yeah,
You got a website, right?
Yep, meganruger.com.
meganruger.com. I did that on purpose. I want everybody to understand that. Yeah, give and show Megan some love. She's an amazing artist, an incredible human being. Love you, kiddo. Thank you so much for being on the show. I promise I'm going to fly out there. We're going to do some shows together once again. We really need to relive those moments because I'm really, truly looking forward to it. And I appreciate your time. And I know my Mojo maniacs totally appreciated you. So, and I'll let you know when the episode airs, and, you can relive this moment again.
Thank you. Be safe out there on the East Coast.
Always, always. I'll talk to you real soon. Have an amazing day, Megan.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Be good. Bye.
This has been a Mojo for Musicians podcast. To learn more about becoming a guest on the Mojo Spotlight and share your mojo with us, visit mannycabo.com. and send us an email in the contact section. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast on your favorite podcast app. And if you like what you hear, be sure to give us a positive rating and review. And remember, music is a universal language of inspiration. So keep supporting your local artists so they can keep inspiring the world. As always, much love and peace, and always live to inspire. Thanks for listening.